What's up, everybody? Welcome to Think on It Thursday. I know this looks extremely crazy. I got this microphone and all, but we had some technical difficulties. Um, and so I just so happened to be able to um, make it work. But the only way I'm able to make it work is with this microphone. But I'm happy for those who may have tuned in, who may be tuning in tonight for Think on It Thursday. There's two things I want you to do when you come in. I want you guys to like, and I want you guys to share. This is going to be a quick talk, but I'm so happy to have my brother, um, Aaron Greer, with me on tonight. He's playing a little bit because I was able to get to my father's church and be able to stream. And the technical difficulties was just trying to keep this from happening. But I'm glad that he was able to come and help out. And I told him I just want you to play a little bit because he's an awesome minstrel. But I just want to talk to you on tonight about the killer instinct. About the killer instinct. For those of you who follow M.Y.B. And who we are, just a little quick recap. We are a mental health organization in which we incorporate mental health practices in the African American community and also the African American church. And we just had a conference that just passed a couple of weeks ago, the Mental Health and Faith Conference, and it was absolutely tremendous. And I'm grateful for everyone who supported and who helped us make that possible. After that time, though, I went into reflection, I went into debriefing, and I spent time with God. And I'm like, God, what do I do next? For those visionaries who understand what next is and how to get to that next step, what to do next after you've succeeded in something that you set. It's like, what do you do next? And so I've been spending time with God in knowledge and education and all of that. And it came to me the killer instinct. And what the killer instinct refers to is the impulses that we have in life, the impulses to spend, the impulses to uh, react or respond in a negative way. ICDs is what we call them in the mental health field or the psychology field. So is the impulsive control disorder is what we call it. But we just want to talk about impulses and what those impulses, what they dictate in our lives. It is extremely difficult in certain areas of our lives to control that impulse, to control that outburst or that overwhelming feeling to do something that you rather not do. Um, it's easy to respond to impulse, particularly because we have this survival mechanism already embedded in us, right? As just a human species, we have this survival. So we have an impulse to respond to something that is negative. And so if we have that, then it's like I do whatever I have to do to survive. Yeah. I do whatever I have to do to survive because I don't want to die in this moment or I don't want this moment to overtake me. So I have a killer instinct. I want to see something come to pass or I want to be sort of shielded from something. So to possess a killer instinct, a person has to become extremely uh, I don't want to use that word. We ain't gonna use that word. I don't want to offend nobody on here. But if you have that killer instinct and you have that impulse, people admire it in a lot of ways. A lot of ways people admire it because to have that killer instinct that says I'm not going to be trampled over or I'm not going to be overtaken. We call it In basketball, we call it instinct because we admire those people like Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan that had the killer instinct. My favorite basketball player is LeBron James, and they say LeBron James don't have the killer instinct like Michael Jordan. And so athletes like that, we admire them because it's like they got the killer instinct. So we like, how do we have that killer instinct? How do we know how to snap into that? It's impulse, impulse. And so when we talk about the impulse, so when a person develops an impulse, it usually points to a lack in their life. It usually points to a void filler in their life. You can usually find an impulsive person either running away from something, or you can find usually an impulsive person having an insecurity. All right. So if I were to be completely honest with you, an impulsive person that is running away from something that happened in their childhood, something that happened in their past. And so they have the instinct to respond on impulse because they're running away from something traumatic that happened in their life. That's the first impulse. Or you can find some sort of insecurity in a person who has an impulse because to have an impulse is to overindulge into something. And so I'm trying to fill that void with what I am overindulging into. And so I may have the impulse to spend money. I may have impulse to have sex. I may have the impulse to hoard. And so with those things, I may feel insecure about something in my life. And so I'm fulfilling that with that impulse. Usually, anytime an impulse is fulfilled or complete, one still does not feel satisfied, or there is an intense amount of guilt that overwhelms that person because I really didn't want to do it, but this is all I know how to do. And so I'm responding to the impulse. I had to identify impulse in my life, and I was wondering, like, why do I keep over exceeding my budget? I have a big family. I have 4 kids and a wife, and we set goals, and we have to be on a budget because our family is so big. And I would ask myself, why am I just over exceeding my budget that I set? And you ever go to the store and you say, I'm going in to get one thing, and then I come out with 12 different other things because I tend to spend, or I tend to pick up things that I see on impulse because I have not focused myself to get exactly what I went in to get and to come out of the store. So I just start picking up stuff, and now I've exceeded my budget, and I went and got what I wanted to get, and 12 other things on top of that because I did not identify that there was an impulse. So now my finances is decreased because I'm not identified the impulse. And so many times on a psychological level, we are saying, or on a spiritual level rather, we're saying, God, we want you to bless us. I need you, God, to bless me because I have a lack thereof here. I have a lack thereof there. And he said, I want you to identify an impulse. The first thing in identifying the impulse is you have to learn how to remain present. Here are the keys. Here are the answer. And we're almost done because this was just a quick talk. Think on a Thursday. It's something that it's a new thing that we're doing here for M.Y.B. And we just want to talk about things that happen in our lives on a psychological level. One of the things, the first step, God said, be present. I need you to remain present in your situation. I don't want to get too scriptural or too spiritual, but The Bible does state to be anxious for nothing, to be anxious for nothing. And what creates anxiety is trying to figure out what am I going to do for tomorrow. And remaining present will help decrease those anxieties. What do I mean by remaining present? It means to focus. I have to focus. In basketball, my coach used to always say, Marquez, I need you to focus. I need you to keep your attention on what you are doing. And then before you know it, what you intended to happen will manifest. I need you to focus. Identify that there is an impulse in your life. And then I want you to learn to focus. Exercises that help you focus. Yoga helps you focus. Meditation helps you focus. Listening to music helps you focus. Those are some of the steps. Identifying the impulse in your life. Think on a Thursday. Start every Thursday. This was our first Thursday, and again, we had some technical difficulties, so this is not the way I really wanted to present myself with a microphone and all that. I really wanted to be on a more personal level, and we will be once we work out all the kinks and stuff. So I want you guys to just be hopeful with us that on the next time we'll be where we want to be. But I'm thankful that we were able to do it on this level. But ladies and gentlemen, I want you to identify the impulses in your life. It may be something, it may be on a sexual level. You may feel that I have the impulse to have sex. I have the impulse to be around or attached to somebody at all times because there's something missing in my life. I'm running from something, or there is a void that I'm trying to fulfill with overindulgence. Identify the impulse. What am I overindulging in my life? Why do I feel the need to have this when it's honestly depleting me? It's honestly making me frustrated, but I just tend to keep going back. How about the impulse to not forgive? That's a good one. I don't want to get I don't want to get too deep because I don't want to go into a subject that I'm supposed to hit on another week. But how about the impulse to unforgive? How about the impulse to go back into a cave or to be closed, secluded? Anytime you're faced with something difficult in your life, you have the impulse to shut down. Identify the impulse. Once you identify the impulse, I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, you'll see your life starting to change. You'll start to see yourself living in abundance because now you have discipline and you have focus. Identify the impulse. Thank you for your time. I didn't want to be more than 15 minutes. Hopefully, I haven't bored you. But next time, I want you to tune in with us next week on our next conversation for Think On It Thursday. And we're only going to be here for about 15 minutes every Thursday. It's just something that I want you guys to just think about. I love y'all. Please, I want you guys to share this. If you come in, follow us on our website, www.mindmyb.org, or follow us on our Facebook or Instagram page. Our Facebook page is MYB/ Mind Your Business, or on our Instagram at Mind MYB Impact. I love all of you. Thank you guys for your time, and I hope to see you again real soon. Peace.